In this 5 minutes, I want to share with you some of the findings that we have from our survey and our buyer's guide. And it's really amazing how quickly the process of innovation is accelerating. And I can tell you right now that what we're seeing is that the best companies are doubling down. There's definitely value. The innovation cycle is shrinking, and we think we're starting to see a bifurcation between organizations within an industry or a task or a function that are adopting and doubling down and going faster and growing a new capability compared to other organizations that have tried and have just are now starting to step back and wait. And we think that that's a very dangerous strategy because uh, a capability needs to be grown. A technology can be bought. And the reason that you need to grow this is you have to create the symbiosis between machine learning and what they're learning and people. And then how do you create new systems and processes to make that work? So Paul would go to the first slide. Here we go. All right. So first, uh, Gen AI maturity is accelerating. As I mentioned, 30–40% of companies are in production, driving real results. I mentioned AI leaders are increasing their leads. This is evidenced by budgets increasing. Use cases are broadening, if you go back. And then the real challenge, and we hear this again and again, is how do I create a hybrid organization so that I can actually get the best of both worlds and grow this new capacity? Yeah. Other thing we're finding is that leaders are trying to understand what is it that it really takes to lead a hybrid organization. If we go next. On the vendor side, what we're seeing is that hyperscalers are incredibly hot competition, right? Somebody comes out with a new innovation, multimodal model, chain of thought reasoning, just making that work is completely different. And the competitive dynamics are white hot, and that's going to continue because of the huge stakes here. We've got $600 billion of advertising that's coming out of traditional search engine optimization now flowing through the answer engines. Some of them have very rapid revenue growth. We're starting to see some differentiation by domain, so stuff like Anthropic going heavy into code creation, right? And vertical solutions are starting to break free, and we're starting to see some, whether it's Cursor or Harvey or whatever. So you get some emerging leaders by subcategory. The other thing is that pricing models is kind of up in the air right now. You've got three kinds of pricing models: per seat, per GPU, and volume-based pricing, or some mix of those. It's our prediction that at scale, organizations are not going to want to have on-demand pricing. They're going to want to have something more predictable, and they're going to push it back on the vendors to say, look, you guys need to own some of our demand risk, and we'll have all kinds of things. But it's starting to be a material cost of a component of somebody's cost base. And we do believe that vendors that understand the process and the customer are going to be able to customize, get what's needed, because re-engineering your organization to be a hybrid organization is not easy. Next. Three big predictions. Things are only going to get faster. Machines, you remember, operate not in human time, but nanotime. So every year for them is a billion years, right? And as we have reinforcement learning and the ability for machines to improve themselves over time, that's going to cause very, very fast when it's pointed in the right direction. You have some very bad behavior going off, where machines are trying to cheat and so forth. But when you can actually find a good reinforcement learning capability, these machines are not only learning super fast, but you're distributing the knowledge across the entire network immediately. There's no delay if it's correct. The speed of this will lead to the speed of improving at a faster and faster rate. There's going to be no abatement of investment by the hyperscalers. They have to win this thing. Plus, they can pay for it just by software productivity inside. In addition, the military-industrial complex of the world, and certainly of China and the U.S., is absolutely running at AI and only beginning on that. And the third thing is that these are the most profitable companies in history, and they have unbelievable power to make this happen. AI adopters are going to increase their lead. I think we're going to see in the next 18 to 24 months what we call frontier firms, ones that have new models that are going to garner, just like Uber garnered a tremendous amount of the value that used to be in the taxi business. These hyperscalers, these frontier firms in different industries, whether it be consulting, healthcare, pharma, they're going to garner a disproportionate amount of the profits and market capitalization in an industry. And that companies that are in the crucible have already seen market valuation impact. If they haven't got an AI story, they got a problem. And if they do, we're starting to ride into that. And the early evidence has already shown up in the labor markets and things like that, where primary demand for labor is going down as you get more labor productivity, whether that's in software or in consulting. And then we think it's going to hit market capitalization in the next 6 to 24 months.